Morning, guys. We decided on a video. Don't mind my beautiful and sick-sounding voice. Um, so I asked you guys to all get a planner. Make sure you have one. And I want you to start getting in the practice of going through and highlighting the dates that you're available to party. This is really going to help you because when you're looking to book, I know a lot of you guys struggle with, oh, well, she thinks she wants a March party, but we don't have a date, and I can't find a date, and that was me too until I started doing this. And I do this because, say my mom wants to book a party. Oh, what day of the week are you thinking? Oh, Fridays work best for you? Okay, I still have the 5th and the 12th available. And when I do that, I list the sooner dates first, because the sooner you can get them in for a party, the better. I know that sometimes we have the tendency of thinking like, oh, well, I have a lot in the beginning of March, but nothing in the end. But think about if you put one extra party in the beginning of March and then you book 2 more at that party, that gave you 3 more March bookings instead of just 1. So that's my justification there. And then this way too, you can see at a glance how much you have left to book. So if your goal for March is 2 parties, if you have 2 highlighted dates, I'd probably highlight 3, just a backup one, but you're like, okay, I've booked March, so now I can move on to April. And this way, our calendars, we are in control of our calendars. Our calendars are not in control of us. And as you move forward into leadership, that's going to be really important because your time is going to be your hottest commodity. It is very valuable. So then I asked you guys to get a clipboard too, which I know I was texting you about this a little bit yesterday. And you have your critical contact sheet on there. And this is the list of your 3 contacts a day. So you just want to make note. Quickly, I contacted Lori yesterday. I need to follow up with her about her order. I contact Ashley T. She's my March hostess. And then say I'm going about my day, because I keep my clipboard right here on my desk with my computer. Somebody calls me and they're like, oh, I really need this. Can you send that out to me? So then I'll make a note, especially if I'm in the middle of doing something like Jenny wants a catalog, and then I'll date it tomorrow. So the first thing I do when I come in is I look at my my list, and I know tomorrow to send a catalog to Jenny. I also have on there my goals, which y'all should have this filled out now. Y'all are blowing up the messages right now. Sorry, I got to turn you off. How do we hush this? Mute. Sorry, guys. Mute for an hour. Okay, so hopefully y'all have this done now. I think it's really important to have your goals in front of you. I do this for 3 months at a time, every month for the year. And it's got your parties booked, your parties held, your guests per party, bookings per party, who you need to give business info, and your personal recruits. And then as I go through the month, I get to write them in. So my personal recruiting goal for February was 2. I ended up with 5, and I put all 5 of their names there. And what's really important is it's in reflection. So, if my goal is to book 6 parties, I probably need to talk to between 8 and 10 people. If my goal is to recruit 2, I need to talk to 20. So I want this filled out at the end of the month, which I obviously did not fill it out all that much. So I did not live up to my fullest potential. But this is going to be really important for you going forward because goals is all about what leadership is. Then you also have your recruiting tracking record. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. Okay, so I use this every single month. You've got space for up to 5 weeks. And then you put the week ending, the number of parties you had that week, who you offered the business opportunity to, because we want to remember 1 in 10 say yes. So if your goal's 2, you want to have at least 20 names that you offered to this month. Who actually looked at it, so who I sat down and had a discussion with, who I talked to on Facebook, who physically took the information, And then the number of consultants who signed and their names. On there, it has goal of 1 per week. That might seem like a little much for you guys now, but as you move forward and getting your momentum going, it's actually going to start coming very naturally, because you'll notice once you open that Pandora's box, the floodgates sort of just come rushing in. So that's really great. And then the rest of the stuff I keep here, you don't really need to keep track of yet. I worked retail for a long time, so I actually track my numbers like I would in retail. It's kind of my way to blend my my old life and my new life, and it makes me happy. But we can start working on that once you start having an established team, because numbers really speak. For instance, I track the team's party average, and if I see it dipping down, I know I need to work on hostess coaching. If I see parties dipping, I know we need to work on booking. So it's actually a real eye-opener, as much as I didn't want to start doing it. And I actually have a recruiter friend contact list, and I keep this here if I'm ever at a loss with who to talk to about recruiting, because it's got different categories, like who needs a fun time, who wants to get out of the house, who needs the recognition. And, it helps me brainstorm people who I hadn't necessarily thought of. So I can share that with you guys as we start moving into recruiting. But this is my clipboard. So then we're moving into binders. So the first binder is going to be your No Lead Left Behind binder. This is going to be your Bible for your business. You will not want to be without this binder. And I actually need to upgrade to a bigger one because mine's too stuffed. So inside, I actually have a place in front for my hostesses. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. I never actually had a place for them. This is something new I'm trying. See if you can see, is that better? And I actually keep track of my hostesses on an expense sheet. I keep all her information. I'll keep notes on her on the back of her page, like her wish list and stuff. But this keeps me on track. Like, did I send out her invites? Did I mail her a thank you? And the cost of it. So hopefully at the end of the year, it will be much easier for tax season, because I've been known to wait till the end of the year, and that's a hot mess. So then, as you can see, I keep the months: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, yada, yada. And then I put my 1 to 31 tabs behind the month that I'm working on. So I haven't quite updated this yet for March, but right now they're behind February. And then I have people's names and information. So like if they had a drawing slip, I just staple it to a blank piece of scrap paper. That's what this is too. They're slipped to a scrap paper. I also gave you guys the contact record. I don't know if I can see any here. And that's what you would print out. You fill it out with their information, because then what you do is you put it behind the day you want to contact them. So today is the 2nd. Today's the 2nd. Oh, it opened to the 2nd. So all of the contacts that I want to make up March 2nd, at least 3, because remember we're going 3 contacts a day, they would be here. And then the first thing I do when I come in my office is I open this up, and I'm like, okay, I need to contact Jessica about her order. I need to contact, Cheryl about booking her party, and I need to talk to Stacy about recruiting, whatever it is. And then the 3rd, when I come in tomorrow, I can look at the 3rd. What's great about this system is, say you contact Cheryl today about her party, and she's like, you know what, I'm not really so sure right now. Why don't you contact me in a week? So you take Cheryl's piece of paper with her information, and you go to a week later, and then you clip her in here. So then on March 8th, you're contacting Cheryl again. So you contact her, and she's like, you know what, March really isn't going to work for me, Kelsey. I really think I want a May party. So then what I do is I fast forward in time, and I would actually probably put her in April. You could certainly put her under May, but I would put her in April and contact her 2 weeks to 1 week before the end of April, in case she wanted an early May date, and just let her know, hey, we talked about a May party. I wanted to make sure you got your first choice of date. What are you thinking? So this is going to be your savior because it's going to show you exactly what you need to do when you need to do it. So I cannot tell you enough, because as you're growing into director, you are going to have hundreds of contacts. And yes, I said hundreds. And I know right now it might feel like you're never going to have new contacts. You can't get out of your circle. You don't know anybody. But I promise you, if you are working towards this, you're going to get the contacts. So you want to know that you'll be following up with them and maximizing everything, because there's no worse feeling in the world than a contact who you let slip through your fingers and you're like, shoot, that could have been a party or $100 order or a recruit. So then the next thing I want y'all to set up now, because we're all going to become recruiting rock stars, is a team binder. And inside your team binder, I've printed out the 120-day touchpoint checklist. You can find this on TOT. And it actually just walks through what you should be doing with your new recruit for their first 4 months and helping them earn Start Small. So it's a really great guide. And then you have your tabs. Voila. Not that. You have your tabs. That's just a blank one. And on each tab, I put a teammate. That's it. It's easy, it's simple. And then behind it, you can put their information. You guys have the new consultant contact lists off of TOT. I sent them to you as well. And you put their Start Swell dates. I think it's got their favorite candy, their birthday. And it's a place. I also write down their why and their goals for their first 4 months. And then an important thing is you're checking in to put notes about what's going on in their business. So I know Jackie's got one March party, one April party. She's working on booking May and a second March party right now. She told me she wants to recruit right from the start, so I helped her work through a Frank's list for that. And all of that is notes right here, so you know when you go to contact her that what's going on in her business. And I love this too because I try and check in with everybody at least once a week. My people who are more hands-off, usually once every other week, but new recruits and your rising stars should be a once-a-week thing, if not more often, because you have to remember they don't know how to work the business as well as we do, and we want to be there to help them be as successful as possible, because they are staying power and lasting power, and how quickly they qualify and all of that, it's going to be dependent on you, not them. So having a great system to be able to follow up with them is really going to help you guys keep straight and narrow from the start. And just one other thing is, say I have somebody in my contact binder and we're talking about recruiting and then they join, then they move to this one. So it's a great way to keep your two lives separate but both sane. So I can't wait to see pictures of your guys' binders as you set them up, and I hope this really helps. I think next week we should start focusing on recruiting, since I know that was something that all of you guys really are excited about and ready to get going, and you're pretty solid in your bookings thus far, so we'll start talking about recruiting next. So if you have big questions about recruiting that you certainly want the answers to ASAP, go ahead and post them, and I'll make sure to find the answers for you and work them into our next set of trainings. Have a good one. Bye.